What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video, and today we're going to be looking at my own personal teams against the upcoming treasure map versus Yamato. So remember, this is going to be my own teams with a lot of summonable characters, and I know not everyone is going to be able to build exactly what we have here, but maybe you can take this into consideration and thinking about, what kind of teams you want to try and build for the upcoming treasure map against Yamato. So without further ado, let's get into this. Alright, so first thing is first, we have the first Battle Rush boss against Ushimaru, and this is the team that we're opting for here. The main reason for it is because with the support of Otama on Big Mom and then activating the super swap of Rayleigh Gaban, we can remove all the turns of bind, that's inflicted to the crew, as well as having access to the Rayleigh Gaban captain, which removes the attack down, and also Rayleigh Gaban have the hunger potential ability, so we don't even have to worry about literally any of the gimmicks. There is also slot bind to the captains. Do they have slot bind removal? No, okay, they don't have slot bind removal, but I don't think it's that big of a deal because we're really focusing on Lin Lin being our main damage dealer, using her switch ability to give her an attack and an orb boost. Her special can give base attack boost and a chain lock, and then of course we also have the support of Nami on the ulti and Black Maria, which can give us an affinity boost, and if we need it, we can use the Black Maria and ulti special. Because we have a cerebral captain, we can get a guaranteed conditional boost. So, realistically, I don't think this is going to be that big of a deal. If we wanted to, we could take an extra turn of stall to get the super swap of Big Mom. So there are multiple ways for this team to do lots of damage. We have Opera, which can give us wave clearing for the first two stages, and we have Shirahoshi, which can give us a full board of rainbow slots at the start of the quest, and wave clearing with Opera keeps those rainbow slots for when we reach the final stage, so we don't really have to worry about getting matching slots. So this is a pretty strong team, and I think this will be able to last us throughout the entire duration of the treasure map. Moving on next, we've got the second Battle Rush boss against Omusubi, and we're going to be using double Stampede Luffy as our main captains here. Remember that his captain ability is amazing, removing Despair and Paralysis by 10 turns, so we don't have to worry about the despair that's inflicted to the crew. Another thing that's annoying is that you do get 2 turns of special reverse to your captain, but it's not really that big of a deal for this team. We are also inflicted with increased defense on the enemy side of the field. There's also threshold on the enemy side of the field. So the thing about it is there are kind of a lot of gimmicks you have to deal with here. But when we reach the final stage, we're only really going to be launching one special, and that's going to be Rayleigh. And Rayleigh is really nice because he does actually resist special bind on himself by 5 turns. So we can just use his special with the support of Shanks, changing all type slots on our side characters into matching. And Rayleigh will give a 2x attack and orb boost to Fighter and Cerebral, and also allow their normal attacks to bypass defensive effects, so we don't have to worry about the threshold, we don't have to worry about the special bind. Ideally get some matching slots with that Shank support. And then of course we've also got Frankie. Now the Frankie tanky here, not like an amazing unit, but the really cool thing about this unit in particular is that there's the swap effect of this unit allows you to get a color affinity boost, and we actually will get the super swap, which gives us a full board of slots. I think actually it gives a 2x color affinity boost, which is actually really good. So that's the main component there. And when we switch into the Psy unit, this character is a fighter, so that's awesome. So we'll have 4 characters that get the boost from Rayleigh. We should have a lot of matching slots, 2x attack and orb boost, going through all the defensive effects. It doesn't go through Blue Shield, but that's why we have Nami and Carrot with the support of the Mihawk to reduce enemies' defense to 0 when we reach the final stage. So yeah, this seems like a pretty solid team that should be able to get the job done pretty comprehensively. We have also Caesar, which can wave clear the first 2 stages as well. Moving on to versus Tempura, the second last Battle Rush boss, and we're going to be using the cool strat of Dog and Cat. So we're going to have double Cat captain, we have Dog Storm sub, with the support of Raizo, so we get a color affinity boost when we reach the final stage. Hiyori will give us a full board of Wano when we start the quest, and then by using the 2 super types of Cat Viper, it will actually wave clear the first 2 stages. So we reach the final stage with a full board of Wano slots, and we will be having the Hiyori special as well when we reach the final stage, which will get rid of the bind and despair that gets inflicted on the final stage. And there is still 8 turns of paralysis. We have the Nami and Robin character, their special will remove that paralysis for us. We don't have to worry about the barrier because we can bypass that completely. and because we still have a full board of Wano slots, we don't have to worry about the slot change mechanics that occur versus Tempura. So yeah, it's a pretty solid team, shouldn't have any issues in this quest. We're going to have pretty solid damage output with the Wano slots, and if we need to, we have Cat Viper for an orb boost or an attack boost. We can use it on stage 2 to carry it into the next room, and then of course Nami and Robin can give us the other, side effect, which can be either an attack or an orb boost, depending on what buff we already have. Maha is basically here because he's just a boosted unit that we can fit on the team. Not an awful choice, but I feel pretty comfortable with this team against Tempura. And now we move on to versus King. Now, this is kind of interesting because I have Izo now. Before yesterday's video, I actually did not have Izo. The really cool thing is they did the discount multi on part 2 of the Sugo Fest, and of the Treasure Map Sugo Fest, that is. Was lucky enough to pull Izo, so we're going to be using him on this team, and we do have Flampe, which is another very high point booster, just because they couldn't really fit her on a lot of other teams, and she is a shooter, so we can just use her under Izo, and Flampe also has Barrier Pierce, so it's going to be a good option to use her. We are also using the Going Merry ship. The only reason for that is it does make perfects easier to hit, and hitting perfects is going to be important to remove a lot of the gimmicks that we're going to be facing versus King. We also have Zorojuro because we're going to be using his special to wave clear the first 2 stages, the support of Kuma giving us color affinity for strength units when we reach the final stage, and then we've also got the Akainu special, or the Akainu support, attached to Izo, which gives an attack boost to our strength characters when we use a damage dealing special, and Izo does do damage with his special, which is great. Izo will give us the Wano slots. We have the Mako and the Izo, and the Okiku should I say, getting around all the other effects that we have to deal with, paralysis, attack down, special bind. Those 2 rare recruits deal with all that. The super type of Izo, the super class of Izo, removes the increased defense, and then the captain ability of Izo removes the threshold and the rainbow shield, and we do have to kill him over multiple different turns, which is kind of annoying actually. We may want to find a way to secure matching slots for multiple different turns. Might have to have a look at that, but I think this should be a pretty good team, at least for now. But I think as we go deeper into the treasure map, I'm going to have to try and figure out ways to implement more boosting effects on the team. Might have to replace the Flampe with something else, but as of right now, this seems like a solid team. So next we're up versus Kaido, and ideally we're going to be using the new Omusubi friend captain, who is the max high point booster. It's going to be a really nice unit to have. So of course we're going to be using the Momo here because of the fact that on Battle 2 you need some way to get around that resilience, and if you're not using Momo as your captain, it's going to be very difficult to get around it. So if you don't have your own Momo, I would advise to use Momo as the friend captain to get through Battle 2 much easier. So Battle 2 shouldn't really be that big of a problem. You've got Battle 3, you've got block slots, and you've got attack down. It's a lot of attack down, by the way. It's 7 turns of it. More bind is inflicted, and when you kill the enemy, he does 50,000 HP. And it does say that he fully recovers, but it shouldn't mean you have to kill him twice. Usually he recovers, and then he'll retreat so that you move into Battle 4. So we're going to be using the special ability of what's her name? Robin. Robin, that's right. Robin will remove 5 turns of attack down. We have the K-Dad support, which removes an additional 2 turns of attack down. So the support and Robin special will remove all of that for us, which is fantastic. When we reach the final stage, we're inflicted with 6 turns of paralysis, which is why we have all of these supports. We have the Bato on Robin for 3, we've got the Sanji on Luffy for 2, and we also have the Nami on Usopp, which removes also 1 turn. So 6 turns of paralysis removal with all of these supports is fantastic. Removing the stun, of course, with the Shimotsuki guy, the blue-haired swordsman guy, he's going to remove that for us. The resilience with Momo's end of turn damage, we should still be able to remove that. We actually don't have a way to get through increased defense. Oh no, that's right, it's Omusubi friend captain. He will allow us to remove the increased defense and also give us a chain lock. He also does change block slots into Wano, which is kind of nice, even though we don't get that in this stage. We do get block slots obviously in stage 3, so we can use the Robin special, which deals with those block slots as well, which is why I have Robin. So this is not like the highest point boosting team that I can build for this quest, but it's just a team that will be able to deal with all the gimmicks while also having really good units on the other teams as well. So as I said, I might not finalize these teams as of right now, but this is my first draft that I have of the teams, and if I make any changes to these teams, I'll probably put them into the treasure map playthrough video once this event does go live. There's also a lot of hunger in this quest, so having characters with the potential ability to remove that is going to be kind of key. This is why those TM Rev recruits are actually really good for this quest, because they help you get around the content, but also they remove a lot of hunger with their potential ability, which is really good. Also, don't use an attack boost on the final stage on Battle 4, so that's why, again, Momo is very good for this quest, because he'll automatically give you an attack boost at the start, and you ideally will keep it for most of the duration of this quest. So yeah, there is also the rainbow shield on the enemy side of the field that you have to deal with. Momo Special will deal with that, so we want to try and maintain that attack boost as much as we possibly can, so that we don't have to worry about the interrupt that does occur versus the Kaido stage on Battle 4. And then, of course, we make our way to the Intrusion fight versus Yamato. Of course, we're going to be testing this team out against that on Extra Island. And once again, we're going to be using Omusubi as our friend captain, just to ensure that we get through Battle 3. Omusubi is very useful for the final battle. Omusubi definitely still very good on the Kaido fight, but definitely more important versus Yamato. So while we mentioned that Momonosuke was the most ideal captain to use versus Kaido, it's the inverse versus Yamato. You really want Luffy versus the Yamato fight, because on Battle 2, you're basically going to get knocked out unless if you have a resilience effect or severe damage reduction. So having a way to revive with Luffy is very, very key for that. And then, of course, Omusubi deals with a lot of the gimmicks that occur on the final stage. There is also a gimmick where if you activate any slot change on the final stage, then you get super block slots. But of course, the enemy can't get rid of your Wano slots, so that's why Omusubi is very good to change your given block slots into those Wano slots. Alternatively, you can get Wano slots on stage 2, and if you lock them, you can carry them over to the final boss stage, and that's going to be another way that you can get around this quest as well. So that's going to wrap it up for me. Thank you so much for watching the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and if you guys did, make sure to go ahead and leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. And that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.
Gomu gomu no nan ni shiyou?